Hello and welcome to another episode of the Friends of Mamdani. And again, we have with us Mr. Ali Mirza, who is a volunteer and a diehard supporter of Mr. Mamdani, who has recently met with President Trump. And if you remember, if you recall, Mr. Mirza was the one who predicted in our last conversation that there would soon be a meeting between the two leaders, and that meeting has come to fruition. Of course, a big development indeed, given the fact that the two were extremely critical of each other during the campaign and didn't look very likely that so soon they'll be seeing each other. But as Mr. Mirza predicted, it has happened. Mr. Mirza, are you happy that your prediction has come true?
Yes, of course, for the betterment of New York City, New York State, and our country. I think it's a very good step, and I am glad that this has happened. And it was bound to happen because of the uh, points that we discussed last time, that President Trump is in a difficult position right now because of the Epstein files, because of the economy, and because of the election results on November 4th.
So now, and of course, in our prior conversations, you also expressed concerns that what if he did not receive full cooperation from Washington, that could prevent him from delivering on the promises that he made during the campaign. So now, after the meeting, which of course ended on a very positive note, and at least the the media engagement showed that the two leaders have surpassed, have overcome the acrimony, the bitterness that took place during the campaign. So now you think that at least he has overcome one obstacle. Funding from Washington will not be an issue anymore.
We don't know that yet, to be honest with you, because what has happened is that it was breaking of the ice. The men met, talked, and only God knows, and the people who were present or the fly on the wall knows what they discussed behind the doors. But what we saw in front of the cameras when they were talking to the press after the meeting was very cordial, very nice. Zohran Mamdani held his ground and did not budge to Trump's, sometime very aggressive attitude that wasn't absent that day. But I don't know what was discussed behind the walls, and what was the attitude of the president there. But one thing I noticed is that mostly Trump did not outline his positions again. Uh, it was Mr. Mamdani, the mayor-elect, who reiterated his positions about affordability, about Gaza genocide, about working for the people who elect the officials in elections. So Mr. Mamdani was constantly repeating all those positions, which were consistent with his campaign promises. And by repeating all those positions, he uh, showed the world that he is standing his ground, which is a very good thing. On the other hand, President Trump did not outline his positions as he did in the past. Like, he did not say, "I'm going to send the ICE or the federal agents." He did not talk about that much about that. Most of his talk was about praising Mamdani and how he won the elections, and what common grounds there are. He agreed, and in fact, to be honest, he busted the bubble of many Republican candidates, especially the congresswoman from New York State, who is running against Governor Hochul in the elections next year for the governor of New York State, who is running on the slogan of Mamdani is jihadist and the Democratic Party has become jihadist and all that. Trump busted their bubble, and I'm sure that he's going to take a lot of heat because of that from his close circles.
So you think President Trump deprived those Republicans of some of their talking points, accusing Mamdani of being a jihadist or being a communist, that is the political side of it. So naturally, we can say that he has at least secured a political victory in the sense that now President Trump doesn't call him those names anymore. And we all know that President Trump drives the agenda when it comes to the Republican talking points. So at least on this front. However, the biggest issue is, of course, the resources that he needs. Do you think that from Washington to Albany or Albany to Washington, whichever way you look at it, he'll now get the resources that he needs, which would not prevent him on delivering the promises he made during the campaign?
We don't know yet. We don't know yet. We don't know if he's going to get the funding from Washington or even from Albany, the resources that he need. Because you see, everybody is talking in platitudes right now. Trump is talking in platitudes. Even Mayor-Elect Mamdani was on Meet the Press this morning on NBC, and he also, for the lack of any other better term, talked many times in platitudes, and Governor Hochul is doing the same thing. Governor Hochul also issued a statement same day on Friday, basically saying the same thing, that I'm glad that Trump is, willing to work for the betterment of New York City and New York State, and that she appreciates that, and the way he met Mamdani was a great thing. But then at the same time, last line that but I will fight like hell if when Trump is wrong or goes against the interest of the people of New York State. So, and there's a reason why they are all talking about platitudes and without committing and being specific about solutions and expectations, because this is election year 2026, and midterm elections. Trump has to be safe. But one thing Trump did was that he has uh, kind of switched his talk and made himself and has put himself in a position that in future, when he goes on campaigning for the Republican candidates nationwide, he can say that, like, I there's not much different between me and anybody else who wants to solve the uh, pocketbook issues of America all across 50 states. Uh, so he has done that, and the great gain for Mr. Mamdani is that hey, he's not a communist anymore. He's not a jihadist. He's somebody that Trump can live under his leadership when he's mayor in New York City. So I mean, it's a very good step forward. But at this point, as far as I can see, there is no commitment, there is no specifics, and it is kind of early also, because I mean, look, today is November 23rd, 2025. It was October 23rd to 2024, exactly 13 months ago, when Zohran Mamdani launched his campaign. And then it has been only 3.5 weeks, close to 4 weeks now from the elections. So not even 4 weeks, I mean, 3 weeks plus. So it is very early, but I think everybody is jockeying for positions and power, and they are making sure that what they want is clear to the other party. So Mamdani has made sure, very obviously, made it very clear as to what he is expecting from President Trump, and President Trump hasn't said anything what he is expecting from Mamdani except that praising. So he didn't kind of emphasize and reiterate his positions. I'm talking about Trump in the press conference after the meeting. But Mamdani was holding his ground and made sure that everybody knows that he is standing firm on his positions.
Yeah, talking about Mamdani's positions, and you also very interestingly mentioned his Meet the Press interview. It very clearly showed that now Mr. Mamdani realizes that the campaign is over. He sees the fruitlessness in getting into that political rhetoric where he continues to criticize President Trump. It won't serve him, it won't get him any new voters, and that's not his objective right now. His objective is to deliver on his
Correct.
promises. And of course,
It's
the
all
next
part of the
stop is
game. It comes with the
exactly now.
territory.
Yeah, today he appeared to be more like, a part of the system than somebody who's trying to break into it and trying to change the things that have made the system so dysfunctional and flawed. Now, of course, the next stop is Albany and the governor. What does she have to lose if she raises the taxes? Of course, this is, I think, the biggest bone of contention between the two.
Right.
Mayor-elect wants her to raise the taxes, and of course, she's holding her ground.
Uh-huh.
New York is known for higher taxes. So, what does she have to
Yes.
lose?
Well, elections 2026. She's running for re-election, uh, but also there is a difference in philosophy between Governor Hochul and also Mr. Mamdani. But Mamdani has become, shifted his position a little bit. Like he's now saying, I think he said it before also, but now he's saying more often and very clearly and with forcefulness that it does not matter where the funds come from. Uh, you don't have to, if you don't want to increase the taxes on the rich, don't. If you don't want to bring the corporation taxes up to match the taxes in New Jersey, fine, but bring the funds. So, like he said, that I don't care where the funds come from, as long as there is money. So, most probably, he's saying he is willing and is open for a less increase in taxes, and then also reallocation of funds which are already there. The question is uh, always, like they say, devil is in the detail. Where those funds are, if they are not going to come from tax increase in taxes, then where are those funds going to come from? Because when you reallocate funds, you have to take money out from some other program and then give it to Mr. Mamdani's program. So these are the things that I think they will be working in near future. And again, even when Mr. Mamdani is pressed by media, as he was done in Meet the Press this morning, he did not commit to anything. He was still talking in platitudes. Well, we agree that affordability problems have to be solved. Pocketbook issues have to be solved. And all these positions that he has taken, he's committed to them. But Governor Hochul is not committed. So uh, Trump has not committed. At least we don't know of anything that any commitment that has been made by either side. But I think I can guess that Trump has drawn three lines, and this is my analysis from Trump's silence on repeating his positions, because I think he wanted to remain cordial and did not want to say it. But I think he has drawn red lines in three areas. Number one, that ICE and National Guards will play a role if Trump thinks it is necessary in New York City and in New York State, maybe. Number two, I think he has drawn a red line about international law and its implications if and when Netanyahu comes to New York. Uh, this is my guess, because yesterday uh, there was a raid by NYPD and also by ICE in New York City, Canal Street, and there were arrests made. And then also, I think the third thing is that Mr. Trump also wants to make sure that crimes, there is a strong stand against the crimes, and I think Mr. Mamdani has positioned himself in saying that, okay, I will cooperate with the federal agents and the federal authorities to fight the crimes, but not the illegal immigrants the way it is being found. Although, like as we saw in yesterday's raid in Canal Street in New York City, the illegal immigrant issues sometimes is tied with the crimes, because some elements in the undocumented uh, immigrants, they are involved in counterfeit and uh, sales and production of counterfeit goods and some other crimes. So we'll see, but uh, how it pans out, maybe we will know in few days.
A very interesting and extremely fascinating conversation by Mr. Mirza. We'll have to take a quick break, and the conversation that just began about the security and safety issues in New York will be discussed on the other side of the break. Please stay with us. We'll be right back. Welcome back to our series of Friends of Mamdani, and we are joined by Mr. Ali Mirza. We'll carry on the conversation where we left off, and that was about the situation, the safety and security of New Yorkers, the crime. Mr. Mirza, the crime rate has declined this year, and but still, New Yorkers don't feel safe enough. I was just looking at a survey which said only 42% of New Yorkers say they don't feel safe in the neighborhoods they live in. So absolutely an issue. And of course, President Trump tries to harp on the issues that are very close to the heart of people of the United States and safety and security. You think Mr. Trump has a valid point when he says he needs to send National Guards, he needs to send additional forces to New York, and Mr. Mamdani says no, NYPD has absolute capacity to handle the situation in New York. Who do you think is on the right side of this issue?
I think Mr. Mamdani is right. Of course, NYPD is capable of solving the crime problems. But when you said that crime crimes are down, let me remind, I think we talked about it in the last issue also, last program also, that numbers are manipulated a lot of times. Uh, and I will give you an example. Like, for example, I live in Nassau County. So in Nassau County, we have areas that are under the jurisdiction of three different towns. And then there are areas, highways and etc., that are under the jurisdiction of New York State. So sometimes what the politicians and these analysts do is they do not count the crimes taking place under the jurisdiction of the towns and the state, and they only count the crimes that are taking place under the jurisdiction of the county itself. And then they say, okay, look, only so many crimes. While overall crime in the county remains the same or even go up. In New York City, and same thing applies to the affordability also. For example, Trump was bragging that Walmart has come up with the reduced prices, and he used the example of the Thanksgiving dinner will cost less, 25% less this year compared to last year. Yeah, true. But also, last year there were like 29 items in the Thanksgiving dinner package. This time it is 23 items. So, this is how they manipulate numbers. So, about the crimes, of course, 46% of New York City residents do not feel same because we hear about the crimes every day. And I think what Mayor-Elect Mamdani is saying that yes, to fight the crime, I have kept the commissioner that everybody thought that or think is doing a great job, and so don't blame me that I changed anything. If you have crimes, but he thinks that the crimes will further go down once he has the Department of Community Services and has the that department to handle the mental issue cases, domestic violence, and certain other cases which are now handled by the NYPD and is burdening them. So that is Mr. Mamdani's position. And the Trump is a little, bomb Venezuela, bomb Iraq, and bomb everybody else. So he likes to send troops everywhere and National Guard. So he thinks that is a solution, but no, that is not the solution. I think providing resources, because you see, when there is poverty and when people are deprived and people are not able to afford groceries, rent, to buy the tickets for the bus or train, of course, little petty crimes increase. People try to jump the gate of the train stations to get into free. People commit little crimes, and some people commit big crimes, and all those things happen. So Mamdani is very correct in his position that, listen, we have to solve the affordability problem. We have to deal with the pocketbook issues that will help solve the crime. And also the new department, community service department, will take care of the uh, mm, uh, situations where mentally challenged people are involved. So I think Mr. Mandani is absolutely correct on that part, although he probably will compromise to avoid any conflicts and make the life of New York City's a little, you know, better and not complicated, to allow ICE to carry on their activities. However, I think NYPD will not be assisting them, as the NYPD issued a statement yesterday also when the raid in Canal Street took place. Uh, First, the NYPD arrived, and immediately they were followed by ICE agents. But NYPD said that we didn't even know that ICE is coming, and nobody had informed us. So we had left after whatever we needed to do. So I think on ICE issue, Mr. Mamdani may, I mean, this is my not only my analysis, but also what I hear from different sources who are very, very well connected in politics in his and are close to him, working family parties people, and others. I hear from them that there will be some, adjusting of positions.
Yeah, I mean, so as you mentioned, petty thefts, store break-ins, these are the crimes that, of course, NYPD should be able to tackle and has been tackling. But when you say that those numbers are not accurate, that the crime rate has fallen, it means there must be some kind of a failure somewhere. And when we talk about the overall environment of the state or the city, then of course that involves more than petty thefts and store break-ins. You think that with some support from National Guards or the support that the president intends to send to New York, the perception of being insecure in your own neighborhood will slightly improve?
I don't think so, because a lot of crimes take place at train stations. I mean, you have seen people push other people on the rail tracks. People have attacked, slash, random, not knowing, without any reason, not even knowing their victims. So those are the kind of things. I mean, what is National Guard going to do? Shoot at them? Uh, if they see people who have uh, dirty clothes and mentally challenged, what are they going to do? Kidnap them? Take them to where? So I think Department of Community Services uh, within the NYPD will really be the real solution.
So, of course, you've been with Mr. Mamdani since the inception of his campaign, or at least when he was when he was rising and so he was gathering support. And I remember that his first shot to fame was rent freeze or lowering the rents, which is a humongous issue for New Yorkers. Do you think now that he's now in the mayor's seat, almost he's mayor-elect? Do you see a step-by-step plan that he can deliver on that particular promise? Of course, other issues are important too, but I think that's the backbone of his entire campaign that will help him to get maybe re-elected.
Right. Well, if there was no affordability crisis in New York City, and if there was no Gaza genocide going on for the last 2 years, there would have been no Mamdani as elected mayor, because these are the two things that made him the right choice for the people of New York City, and that's why Mr. Mamdani mentioned the Gaza genocide in presence of Trump, which is hats off to him. Nobody, I have not seen anybody else say such boldly and talked about Gaza genocide. Although while he was firm and he mentioned it, he was very, very polite and uh, did it in a very respectable manner, not to get Mr. Trump angry and and change the course of the press conference. So I mean, that is one issue, and that test may come even before the affordability, because I mean he cannot do anything about it before January 1st anyway. On January 1st he will be taking oath, and then he can really do anything. Right now he's just talking to Governor Hochul and Washington D.C. to get the funds and to see how we can tackle this problem of affordability and other pocketbook issues. But the first test will come on around December 31st and January 1st of next year, because New York City Council has written to the Prime Minister of Israel, Netanyahu, to come and address the New York City Council on the same very day. Then Mayor Eric Adams has went there and repeated the invitation. So what is going to happen on around those days? We don't know. I mean, personally, I don't think Netanyahu would come at such a time when Mamdani is getting ready to take oath. But till Mamdani has taken the oath, what if he comes before that, a day before? At that time, Mamdani cannot do anything because he is not he will not be officially the mayor. Then what happens if in September of 2026 Netanyahu comes to New York City
UNGA.
for the UN General Assembly session? So those are the things, and it will be a big challenge, because that was his main stand that brought him into the
The
attention
spotlight.
of the people of New York City, who are against Gaza genocide and believe on free Palestine. But as far as the affordability and housing and childcare, like I said before, I mean, we don't know yet, and I think Trump is not going to change much on the position of uh, National Guards, Netanyahu, and also crimes. And Governor Hochul, what is she's thinking and where she will find the money, we don't know. But one thing that has happened is that the ice is broken. they are being cordial and to each other, talking to each other, and they are in a position that if Mr. Mamdani needs to talk to Washington D.C., somebody in his staff can pick up the phone and talk to the people close to the president, and then maybe directly between Mr. Mamdani and the president about affordability issue. But I think that eh, when it comes to affordability issue, Mr. Mamdani will get more help from Washington D.C. And much faster than Governor Hochul, because soon Mr. Trump will have to go on the campaign trail and say, "Look, I ran on the slogan of affordability. I got busy and sidetracked and in this, that, and God knows what. But I'm back in with my focus on solving the affordability prices. And look, I'm giving this much money to New York City. I'm giving this much money to all the states where he think it will be strategic for him to politically and from the government's point of view, governing point of view. So I think there will be some positive things will be coming, but this issue of Gaza genocide and also protests are going on. I mean, on 29th also there are going to be huge protest in New York City. So the same commissioner who was very hard on the protesters, especially the at the campuses in New York City. What is she going to do under the in not under Mayor Mamdani, but soon to be Mayor Mamdani?
Very quickly, in the end, of course, it didn't happen by design, but it did happen by default that Mr. Mamdani has become the face of Democratic Party. I'm sure when he ran for the mayor, he didn't intend to be the poster child for Democratic Party because this.
I'm glad that you said that, because let's remind everybody that on the same day that when Mr. Mamdani arrived in Washington D.C. to meet President Trump, the Democrats, uh, a huge big number of Democrats voted to denounce socialism on a resolution in the U.S. Congress along with Republicans. So I mean, I think they didn't expect that their bubble will be busted by a cordial Trump and a very firm but polite Mamdani. So their bubble is busted. Republican Party's bubble is busted. So how Republicans are going to make Mr. Mamdani a face of Democratic Party and criticize him after all the things that President has said on Friday? So that will be a very difficult thing. In fact, Democrats should say, okay, yes, he is the face of. Look, even the president had to agree with him and support his policies. So we are going to see some very exciting times and surprising times in the coming weeks and months.
Very interesting because President Obama at least had a chance to speak with him, and of course that didn't happen during the campaign. But you think now during the election, the upcoming election season, more candidates would like to distance themselves from Mamdani, or more candidates would like to be affiliated with the political philosophy that he has so successfully
Uh,
championed in New
I
York?
Right. I think when it comes to the pocketbook issues and the affordability issue, I think they will like to align with Mr. Mamdani. I'm not sure how many will align with his Gaza policy, but I'm already seeing that many members of Congress have stopped taking money from APAC. Some have refused. Some have softened their position towards Palestinian crisis in favor of Palestinians. Some are taking a little bit more critical look at Netanyahu administration and the Gaza genocide. So that shift is there. But I don't know how many candidates are going to align with Mr. Mamdani on Gaza genocide issue. But the wind of change on that issue also have started to blow.
Many,
In
many thanks. Many thanks, Mr. Mirza. As always, it's been a pleasure chatting with you. And of course, we'll see. Time will tell how many Democratic Party candidates would like to have Mr. Mamdani, who's a great campaigner and he has proven it to
and a
be on their campaign.
great communicator.
Yes, absolutely. And let's see how it pans out. But we'll see you in our next episode. Till then, stay safe, stay blessed.
Thank you.